Hello, 依照 Martins, licensed marriage, family therapist, couples therapist. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about ADHD and blind trust. Today, we want to talk about the polar opposite of ADHD and blind distrust. So according to Google, there are two meanings of distrust. It can be a noun or it can be a verb. But what's the essence of that is you have this not able to give the benefit of the doubt, and you start to question the honesty and reliability of the other person. So in an ADHD-affected relationship, that sounds quite familiar, isn't that? I often hear the non-ADHD partner telling me that I don't trust my partner with ADHD, with our children, with our house chores, with any obligations. I don't trust them that they can complete a task on time, or do it the way I tell them to follow instructions. So that is also similar to the blind trust. It's also based on irreality. It's generally based on the past experience that we have, that we use that as a reference to predict the future, and that's a negative prediction about the future. So when we are in that place, we choose to believe in something that have a negative outcome. So we stop being curious about what might happen that we do not know. And why do we do that? I notice when I do the blind distrust thing, I tend to have a protective factor come in, a part of me that want to protect me from being disappointed and by the future based on what I know in the past, that I don't really want a surprise. I don't not want the worst to happen, so I prepare for the worst. I'd rather believe that this is gonna go really, really bad, so I brace myself and take actions, having some backup plans. That way, I'm not surprised by the many times happen failures of my partner with ADHD. It is coming out of place of fear of unknown, and there's also a part of me that's called inner critic that comes in, laugh at me, saying, "See, if you believe what they tell you that they're gonna follow through, remember what happened last time you believed that, dummy? You'll be disappointed." And that's really harsh. That's really hurtful. So what happens if we got hijacked by the inner critic, by the perfectionist part, by the part that wanted to give a prediction of the future, even though it's not happening yet? Well, what happened is, because the non-ADHD partner, if they take on that position, they are not trusting their partner with ADHD. They may take on too many tasks, from childcare to household chores and to tasks to planning date nights, anything, any obligation, right? They don't trust their partner with ADHD to complete and to help them. They will just be doing. And what gonna happen, you can imagine. Here's the overfunctioning, here's the overstretching, here's the burnt out, and here's feeling physically and emotionally really taxed and exhausted, and negatively impact your relationship with your children, with your partner, with even coworkers and friends, because you're constantly so tired. You may be just venting and ranting, complaining all the time, and kind of behaving in a pretty bitter way. I'm not surprised when your nervous system and your body are overworked. It's very hard to be energetic and cheerful. Right? So I also want to follow the format of our video 2 weeks ago to talk about how does it present in your body when you're taking on that position. You have blind distrust of your partner with ADHD. Let's get centered. So when I'm in that place, I first notice around my head, there's a belt of tension, especially around my eyes. That's generally telling me that I'm tightening this part of my eyes, the muscles, to prevent me from doing something. So what would I be doing, expressing with my eyes, if I don't have those tension around them? I might be smiling, I may look at my partner lovingly, I may cry, because I'm so tired from doing all of the things, right? So this tension is really holding the strength in place for me to focus on the task I need to do, but doesn't allow me the relaxation and the stretching, the flexibility that my eyes wanted to have. And also notice some tightness in my jaws, right? That's generally a sign when I square my jaws and really tighten them, is that I have aggression that I wanted to express, but I'm withholding this aggression. So the jaw gets really tight to stop me from saying things that I'll regret later. And then also with the tightening of the throat, I tend to also notice the tightness down here and around the shoulder. And then there's almost like a jutting, actually contracting compared to the blind trust. Like I'm pulling away my throat, my chest is hardened, so there's restricted breathing, and then also it's hard to feel tender feelings when this area is all tight, and it's hard to express your tenderness, like my sadness and my hurt feelings and disappointment to my partner, so that I just kind of puff it up and pull away and just keep doing, right? With the hands reaching forward and keep doing things. And there's actually a collapse, if you notice, in the chest, right? But it's not a collapse as for when you're in deep sadness and grief that is heavy, but more like a tight and pull back. With that, you can imagine the block here, 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 and here. It will really stop your vitality from flowing energetically in your body, and you may feel exhausted, and there are certain regions you may notice if you go to massages are tight here, tight here, tight here, that cannot be break down easily just by body work. As soon as you finish the massage, you go back to your daily life, you kind of go back to this almost like a straitjacket form that you put on to stifle yourself from expressing your tender feelings, to really feel the flow of your vitality, energy, and creativity, and to be softened, getting in touch with your feminine energy. Not just for a woman, but men also need to get in touch with their feminine energy, the creativity, the flexibility, the softness, the connectivity, right? With yourself, with nature, with your children, with your partner. So you can imagine long-term wise, that's really actually impacting your heart as well, right? So you can see that when you either swing from the blind trust or blind distrust, there's actually not a good place to be as for your health and your well-being and your relationship. So in the next couple of weeks, I want to launch a new series, exciting, about ADHD and the CPTSD. Complex PTSD, complex trauma that's coming from a negative childhood experiences repetitively, even like in the present time, and how that impacts your nervous system. I will be talking about ADHD partner with CPTSD and the non-ADHD partner that with CPTSD and how that impacts your relationship. I really discovered something recently I'm so excited to share with you. Until next time. Bye, my friend.